Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of See More Shenanigans.
What up, what up, what up?
Yo, today we gonna talk about this man's favorite topic, and because it's hot in the news.
What's that?
Football.
Let me get comfortable.
Look, talk about let me get comfortable. So I know enough about football. I like going to the football games, right? All that good stuff. And I be learning, I be asking questions.
Okay.
But in the social media, it's been talking about, is it Shedeur Sanders, and this whole ordeal of him not getting picked in the number one round, the first round, or the second round at this point.
Or the third
at this point. And hopefully by the time this air, he has gotten picked in one of these rounds. So on today's episode of Shenanigans, I want you to break this down a little bit for me, because I have opinions based on what I've been seeing on social media, but it's what I see on social media. And the people is highly upset.
Oh yeah, as they should be.
Okay, so tell me what's happening here.
So we have Shedeur Sanders, quarterback and son of the famous Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders was his head coach in college, all throughout his high school, college. That's been the only coach that he's known to play for. So he's real good, All-American, top quarter. He was projected to be a first round pick in this coming draft throughout the whole year, from last year all the way up until this time. Somehow now, he didn't get drafted. The draft that started Thursday, he didn't get drafted in the first round. Second and third round were Friday night, still not drafted. He is literally a top 2 quarterback in this draft. Nobody has drafted him. So now, this is one of the things where you come out and everyone's wondering, like, why hasn't he been drafted? Why hasn't he been drafted? Yeah. You hear reports and media coming out, the coaches and the staff that he interviewed, because going to the draft is almost like an interview process.
I'm over here.
So he didn't get, they were saying that, he didn't interview well, he didn't test well, and teams became frustrated with that.
Okay, so let's pause there. When you say he didn't interview well, he didn't test well, what does that consist of in the world of football? In the world of football, you sit down like we're having a conversation now with the team. They ask you questions. Some will be off the wall, crazy questions. Like, it's one of those things about your history, your past. How do you do this? As it relates to football or anything? As it relates to football and life. Okay. They will ask some crazy questions. Okay. Just to see how your thought process is, what have you overcame, and all of that. Some of them may be very invasive. Okay. They thinking like, we've been investing all these millions of dollars in you. We want to know about everything. So they come to that. Also, as far as a football aspect, they may give you a set of things, like you're trying to be a quarterback. All right, we're going to give you these plays. We want to see how you answer them, how you do this, how you. So when they're going to answer them, is that them just talking about it, or is that them like actively like running a play? Talking about it, actively running a play. How will you call this play in the huddle? There's also sometimes in sports they do it like on what we call the whiteboard, the chalkboard. So they're like, okay, we'll give you this play. We want you to diagram it for us and break it down to what you're looking for. Okay. So they'll give you a step-by-step process. Okay. Sometimes and that's sometimes how they draft you. It may be, he interviewed well, he answered all the questions that we like, and we did that. We like this person, we want to take. The report on Shedeur is that he didn't interview well. They didn't like his attitude. He also, one thing about Shedeur, he's the son of Deion Sanders, so he's already coming with that fame and notoriety. He already has NIL money, like he's coming from success. He already has a following. So he's very confident and sure of himself. Okay, yeah. So a lot of teams may be thrown off by that. Got you. So pause right there really quick. So you said they said he didn't interview well. That was the reports. Do we know what made it not well? No? Okay. We don't know. Okay. That's the report. That may be them trying to say like, instead of when a lot of people, as you said, on social media may think that, the real reason is they don't want to take us because
of who his father is.
Yeah, I've read that across social media.
No.
They like, nah, they really like blackballing him because his daddy is Deion Sanders.
Because his dad is Deion Sanders.
And he's too confident in himself, and he shouldn't be that confident.
And he rubs a lot of people the wrong way.
A lot of white people.
Yeah, what she said. So,
because, I mean, what's wrong with a black boy being confident in his abilities and his skill set?
There's nothing wrong with it.
I'm just saying, continue.
There's nothing wrong with it at all.
I'm going to call it spade a spade.
So, and then also times in the draft, leading up to this draft process. So, Deion Sanders is a famous football player.
Right.
He's in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the best, if not arguably the best at his position to ever play. So, prior to the draft process, he was saying, they were asking him like, are you going to be in like that, in the sports world, we call it like that helicopter dad.
Okay.
That dad who's going to be able to, in their son's lives, going to be able to navigate his business dealing.
Basically, he ain't finna let y'all play in his son's face.
Exactly.
Okay, what is wrong with that?
He said, you right. He was like, I'm the best of the best. I've been in this position and did all that. He's like, so I know what's behind the closed doors and all of that.
Fair enough.
Like, why wouldn't I navigate the position? I'm going to tell him, we going to go this way. We going to go that way. Like, I've been in this position. I know what's behind you guys. Like, I've been in part of this process. So, like, why wouldn't I be in my son's picture and telling him?
Yeah. You know what? I wonder, what is the difference between the way Deion is showing up for his son versus the way LeBron showed up for Bronny and made sure, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, I don't know all the intricate details about like the sports arena when it comes to that. I enjoy sports. I'm not a basketball fan like that, but I enjoy when I am watching it, or like, I love to go to an actual football game. But if LeBron can do it, why can't Deion do it for his son? Like, what is the... And I know those are two different leagues, right? Yes. But it's still a matter of, you got two helicopter parents. Nobody frowned upon LeBron doing it, from what I recall. Not to this magnitude where his son was, where it's coming off like he's being blackballed.
The one difference is LeBron is still playing. So he can dictate, and he's still the biggest draw in his league. So he was able to.
So he got more pull.
He has more pull.
He got more power in the situation because he's still an active player.
He's still an active player.
Your opinion?
Yes.
Okay. Let's
Deion doesn't have that active pull because he's not.
Okay, he's retired.
He's retired. He's not in that league.
Got you.
So if he was a head coach or or a GM and he could probably pull that move.
Got it. But he's still a coach. He's just a coach on the collegiate standards. Okay.
So, and a lot of times, the NBA versus NFL, the NBA is a little bit more progressive. It's more of a players' league and all that. So that's why LeBron has that power to be able to wield and do all of that. The NFL, they don't have guaranteed contracts. So their players. The
NFL don't got guaranteed contracts?
Guaranteed contracts.
So when they be getting $1 million contracts, those not guguaranteed?
They get.
I thought that was
the only thing that's guaranteed in that is the guaranteed money. So
okay, got you.
For example, you say a person may sign for a 5-year, $50 million contract, but they'll say $30 million of that contract is guaranteed. So regardless of that contract, that player is only going to get $30 million guaranteed.
Got it.
The other 20 will not be. So they could cut him after the second year, but they still have to pay him that $30 million.
Got it.
Then,
Okay.
That's how it works in the NFL. In the NBA, whatever contract you sign, they paying you that.
Got it. Okay, let's get back to
Shedeur. A lot of people may be feeling like teams are taking it out on him because of who his dad is. They don't want that helicopter dad. We don't want you dictating all that. They may go, well, your son is a grown man. This is a grown man professional business. You should let him make his own decisions.
But hasn't it been in history known for other players, fathers who spoke up? Like, I know I was reading because I did a little bit of research, y'all, because I really want to know get this broken down, right? So like, I know I did a little bit of research, and of course, from like some of the Facebook posts, whatever, I read that like, Archie Manning,
yes,
he was very hands-on. He was very, my son's gonna do X, Y, and Z. Because he had two sons that was in the NFL, right?
2 sons, yes.
And, you know, it was good for him. He was able to do it. Mm-hmm. So, like, what would be the difference? Outside of skin color.
Yes, that's a reason. But also, they're going to go off of Eli Manning was considered, I believe he was the number 1 overall pick. Mm-hmm. Or it's like, they're going to do that because of Eli Manning's power and authority that he had. He basically came out and said, my son is not playing for this team. Mm-hmm. You're gonna
his name Eli Manning?
Yes. Oh. Eli Manning is the court is.
Oh, that's the son.
That's the son. The son is Archie Manning.
Oh, I had that right. Okay.
So he made that deal, and it ended up working out for him and his son. And there wasn't much backlash on that. Now, the difference maybe he may have been doing it a little bit more on the hush side of things. Like he was doing it like behind closed doors.
Yeah.
But he basically came out and said, no, my son's not playing for that organization.
Got you.
And
but I also think we're in a different times, right? When right now social media, everything is being displayed. Mm-hmm. Everything. So like to do a hush deal is almost like non-existent. Mm-hmm. At some point it's going to come out.
It is.
Right? And so I think it may have had that advantage where it wasn't being blown up and on so many different media platforms.
Because the coverage.
Yeah, it wasn't as big as it is now. Because back then the coverage probably was literally only the news and radio. Mm-hmm. Now you got the news, the radio, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, podcast, YouTube, everything you can think of. Mm-hmm. Got you. Okay.
So it was in that. So now, what teams are looking at like, oh, we have Deion Sanders and all of this. Mm-hmm. They're gonna use it. Oh well, maybe his son isn't as good as he thinks he is.
So do you think he's good?
I think he's good. He's going to, regardless of where he gets drafted at. Mm-hmm. I believe he will play in the league. Mm-hmm. I believe he will have a successful career in the league. I don't know if he's very talented. Mm-hmm. But he will have a long, successful career in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Now, where that is and what that will look like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I think he will have a long, successful career in the league.
Do you think he was good enough that he should have been drafted in the first or the second round and not be on this waiting?
Absolutely.
Do you feel like, because we've already seen the first 3 rounds already go by, right?
Yes.
Do you feel like there have been people that has been drafted in his same position, quarterback, right? Because I can't compare him to like a wide receiver or nothing.
Right.
So do you feel like there has been other quarterbacks that has been pulled before him that maybe should not have?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, tell me about that.
So you have Shedeur Sanders, who is maybe, I believe, 21 years old, 22. Okay. All-American, arguably the best quarterback in college football for the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. He still hasn't been drafted yet. In the second round, there's a quarterback, Tyler Show.
Y'all, him and his commentary voice be taking me out. Y'all ain't never heard this man talk this much on our other episodes. When we start talking about football, baby, ESPN, call my man, because he ready for his spotlight. But continue.
I'm here. Tyler Show, quarterback from Louisville.
Okay.
Is going to be 26 years old before he even plays an NFL game. Mm-hmm. Has 3 major injuries throughout his career.
26 years old. Ain't that kind of old in football terms?
Exactly.
Okay, I'm keeping it up.
In sports terms, the younger you are, the more valuable and more better you are. So as an NFL team, would you rather take a 21, 22-year-old quarterback who's been an All-American, who's played very well at the top of his game versus a 26-year-old quarterback, rookie quarterback
that has had 3
injuries and has not had the production that Shedeur Sanders has had.
And he has already been drafted.
He was drafted in the second round. He was the 3rd quarterback taken. The quarterback before him, which was Jackson Dart, he's a good quarterback, has some skills that NFL quarterbacks look, but he hasn't been productive as Shedeur Sanders.
So what you're saying is, based on what we've seen so far and their track record and their production and all other stuff, Shedeur Sanders is actually better than those 2.
Exactly.
And should have been picked. So then, which makes it look even more like y'all are blackballing this young man for what reason? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I'm reading it, because
I wouldn't never. It's like a DEI almost. You're a DEI hire. You know what I'm saying? Right? And I'm not even gonna get into all that, but it's like that. It's like because usually DEI hires are, whatever. I'm not even gonna get into all that because that's gonna take us to a whole nother. And I don't want to do that. But
they aren't.
You're not picking the best,
most qualified
candidate because of what?
They may feel more safer with that person, or fulfilling an obligation, or in this case, sending a message. Mm-hmm. We don't think you're good enough, so we gonna take a person, or we don't want to deal with what you have, so we gonna take a person that's less talented than you just to prove a point. Now the beauty of this all is all these teams are basically saying with Shedeur, we don't think we can win with you. That is the message that they're sending. Or we don't want to draft you because we don't want to deal with what may come with you. Mm-hmm. The beauty about they're not always right. I mean, Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round.
Yeah.
He turns out to be arguably the best quarterback ever.
Yeah.
So they don't always get it right.
But this doesn't even seem like it's one. But even if that is the reason that they're saying, like, that's what they're saying. The math ain't mathing.
It's not.
Because how can you say that? But he according to what you just told me, he has outperformed the two that has been drafted already, Dart and the 20s show. So how can you say? How can that be said? Which again brings it back to it sounds like they're trying to humble him.
Oh, they definitely are.
But like humbling him for what though? You know what I'm saying? It's like because he already got it and he don't need it. Mm-hmm. Maybe because earlier you said like he comes from money. He comes from like he ain't new to this. He true to this basically.
Right.
He got all these deals already and not even in the NFL. He has a name for himself. And he already kind of like he legacy. Okay, we know he a Nepo baby, right, and that's perfectly fine because I feel like it's nothing wrong. White people get ahead off nepotism all the time, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like at what point it gotta be just you trying to like humble.
That is, he's too confident and sure of himself, and they need to try to fix his attitude.
So they trying to when you take it back to slavery, buck breaking. Mm-hmm. That's what they trying to do. Because what do you mean he's too cocky?
Get back in your place.
Exactly. That's exactly buck breaking. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, because y'all want to be able to control him and y'all can't. So now we got to humble the hell out of you. But the problem is, what God has for somebody, you know what I'm saying? Nobody can dictate how that look and how that's gonna show up. Mm-hmm. Because being confident is subjective. Being too confident is subjective. Because a person could walk in a room and just think highly of themselves enough to know that, you know what, I have what it takes. I know my skill set. I know my ability. I'm walking in my head held high. I'm not finna be, low hanging fruit. I'm not finna do none of that. I know my ability and I don't have to accept crumbs. You know what I'm saying? But to the wrong person, or to a person who wants to be in control, to a person who wants to feel like, they can tell you what to do, that's too confident. Mm-hmm. That's too cocky. When in reality, that man just shining in his own, he just shining in his own light.
Right. That's all it is. A person being confident and sure of themselves is going to reflect on a person that is not confident and sure of themselves.
It highlights that other person's insecurity because they're not doing nothing wrong. Again, I don't know a lot about football, like when it comes to all of that. So I don't know if like there's a missing piece, and I just don't we just don't know. But it's still very sad, just to say the least. Like the fact to know that there are two people. Based on what you said, there are two people who has been drafted already before him in the 1st and 2nd round, and he outshines them performance-wise or ability, but yet they were picked and not him.
Right.
That doesn't even make sense.
It doesn't.
But it goes to like, you're not sticking to the stereotype that we have for you. That's just what it sounds like to me.
Oh, it is.
Like, this is how you should look. This is how you should go about it. You need to be quiet. Shut up and be quiet, like I said.
Especially given the position that you play. If Shedeur Sanders was a wide receiver and he played any other position and had all that, they'll deal with that. As long as you producing on the field and doing all that, they're fine with that. But yet, they look at the quarterback as you are the face of the franchise, the company man. So we need you to act like this, stay in this box and do this and perform this way. If you step out of that, we're not gonna do.
Okay, so wait, that's another take on another layer on there, right? I never knew that. So they are willing to put up with that type of air quotes behavior if it was from a different player, but from the quarterback, you have to have a very distinctive image.
Yes.
Why? Because one thing you said is because they the face of the franchise.
They are there.
But me being cocky, how does that make the franchise look crazy? I could still be a businessman and still be cocky and confident in my ability and know my worth. But because I'm not quiet with it, it's a problem. So is it safe to say that the two people, Show and Dart, are more quiet than Sanders?
I guess according to the teams that drafted them, they may have felt more comfortable drafting. They felt more comfortable for some reason drafting them and not Shedeur.
And it's probably because they came in knowing, maybe they came in knowing like not came in knowing, but they probably was a bit quieter, and they came in like, with all the right answers. Like, okay, yeah, I gotta do this.
I'm very happy to be here.
Exactly.
Thank you.
And Sanders probably came in like, hey, what's up? I know what I bring to the table. What y'all got for me? I don't like them numbers. Boom, it's a wrap. Now, granted, Chris, I'm sure he said it way more because Deion don't play. So I'm pretty sure he was way more professional speaking when saying it. But his tone, delivery, and all that stuff was probably like, what it do?
Really?
Maybe. I don't know. I wasn't there. He should have had me. But I think that's very interesting. And just even like switching to like Travis Hunter, right? He was the number 2 draft pick.
Number two.
Who was the number 1?
Number 1 was Cam Ward.
Who was what position?
The quarterback.
Oh, he a quarterback too.
Quarterback.
Okay, got it. He quiet?
He's a little quiet.
But he's better than Sanders?
They were actually neck and neck.
Okay.
Okay,
got you.
It was more so like he was a very good quarterback, all that. I think he got drafted higher because he may have a little bit more size and more size, and like he's a little bit more bigger on as far as physical stature.
Gotcha.
So teams felt more comfortable with him, and he probably went through the interview process a little bit more. He was confident in himself, but maybe not as outright with it as he didn't come with all the fanfare that Shedeur comes with.
Oh, so he don't have all the fanfare. So maybe he also thinking like, you already come with too much. We can't do nothing with that. Like, we can't control what you get, or we can't have a hand in what you get in because you already come with everything, versus the other ones may not come with as much. So they can probably have like a little bit more of a hand in it and whatnot, maybe.
Yes.
I don't know. Okay.
That may be part of it.
Oh, okay.
Now, not to take anything from Cam Ward because he is very
I wasn't even talking about him. I was really talking about the other quarterbacks.
Yeah. With them, yes.
Yeah.
Because you can make a case that, okay, Cam Ward is better than Shedeur Sanders. You can't make no case that those other two quarterbacks are better than Shedeur.
Yeah.
You can't.
Okay. And so then back to Travis Hunter, he's not quarterback.
He's a wide receiver and a cornerback. He plays 2 positions.
Oh, okay. So. And you know what? Even with that situation, you know what I didn't like about that was they still overshadowed his moment by talking about how his daddy got court approval to be at the draft with him.
I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it as more like it was a special moment because there have been other players that in the past that may have players, fathers or parents incarcerated, and they weren't able to attend. So just on the fact that we got to see how special of an event was for him, and for his father to be there and witness it. I think that was a very proud and special moment for.
Yeah, I get that, but still at the same time, that did not need to be plastered everywhere. That's the headlines. Like, anytime I got on social media before the draft even started, that was like the headlines. Travis Hunter dad got court approval to be by his side. Travis Hunter dad got court approval to out of jail, whatever, probate, whatever. Not he wasn't in jail, probate or something, whatever, to be by his side. Okay, and like that didn't need to be plastered everywhere as a headline. That takes away from the fact that this young man has worked his tail off, because that's all people are going to think about it. Let's be real and call a spade a spade. If I'm reading something and that's what I see first, my next thought is now finna be, well, what he was in jail for? Well, what he was on probation for, or parole, or whatever the case may have been. Cause now you doing it. I don't even care about Travis Hunter no more. I now care about cause now that's what you're gonna be invested in. Granted, I know some people can easily say, well, now you focus on the wrong thing. No, I focus on what they put out. That was big and bold in the headlines. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't like that part, because I'm like, why are we highlighting that? Like, why does that need to be the main focus? Y'all could have just waited to the fact and see like, oh, his dad was here by his side, whatever. Everybody didn't need to know all the intricate details and the steps that it took to get his daddy there. That wasn't nobody's business. That's just my take on that. Because what we do know, and for me, again, it's like y'all trying to keep him, not you, of course, but they trying to keep him in this stereotype, like, they trying to keep that stereotype attached to him. Yeah, he's gonna be the greatest player all time, but he the greatest player that came from a daddy who was incarcerated, or that came from a daddy that did like this whole struggle story, right? Which Shedeur Sanders don't got that struggle story. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh yeah, we can do something more with this struggle story, but everybody don't got it. Every black person don't come from struggle lifestyle. Let's be very clear. And I think that's also the part that irritated me with that whole Travis Hunter headline. Like, when I was seeing, I'm like, why his family struggles got to be plastered everywhere? Okay. Like, nobody cares about that. We care about the fact that this young black boy has been able to achieve greatness by putting in all this hard work and dedication, and has been able to be the number 2 draft pick for, whatever team, all the other stuff. Like, that's how I look at it. I look at stuff a little bit more deep than what it is. Also, I think because I don't trust white people. I ain't gonna say I don't like them. I don't trust white people, especially like in power like that. And so it's one of those things of like, what's the real agenda here? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, but I was just really wondering, I really wanted to get your take on that. I forgot, it was something else I was going to ask, because we was talking about it earlier, and I completely forgot. Do you remember what it was?
I don't
know. But I just really hope that, I really wanted to get your take, because I know you love football, and I was like, oh, let's make this episode all about like your sports, what you love doing. Let me interview you a little bit and get like clarity on it. Because it's heartbreaking to see that this is what he is going through, and it seems unfair based on what I'm seeing. Again, I ain't in the boardrooms, I ain't in the meetings, I ain't in the, and then they said somebody prank called him.
They did, and told him, oh, well, you gotta wait a little longer.
Yeah, and I was like, that is so sad that y'all are bothering this boy. But I will give it to him. It looks like he is remaining in good spirit the entire time.
Which is good.
Yeah, which is really good. But I do think whenever he gets picked, everybody who played in his face, they finna have egg on their face within the next year, 2 years. They finna have an egg on the face. I also saw something about like, well, yeah, he didn't go to the combine, and that messed him up too. But what is that?
Combine is where they gather a lot of the top prospects, and they go them through interviews. That's where they start the interviews with teams. They go through physicals with team doctors and all of that, and then they also go through drills. They send the players through drills and all of that. So usually if you're a top player, you don't go through the drills, because you're not going to use any of that information, those physical drills, to hurt yourself, because the earlier you get picked, the more money you get. It's a business. So you pretty much going there for the interviews and the physical. That way, that's usually like your first interaction with the teams that are drafting you. So a lot of players, a lot of players don't go to the combine strictly for the interviews and the physical. They don't go to work out because a lot of times when you go and work out, you're working with random people, other players that you have never worked with before. And if I'm going to a job interview, I want to be able to work with somebody that I already know. One of my teammates that was my teammate in college, where we already have the repetition, we already know how each other works and all of that, versus some random other person that I don't know. And now that's, if I have a bad workout, that could possibly hinder my chance to be drafted. So why would I want to do that?
And it sounds crazy too, because why would I do that when y'all should have been coming to see me at my school in the field playing? That's what the whole scouting is for anyway. Like you should have been out there when I was already in real time doing stuff. And if they injure themselves in the combine, now that's another problem, right? I don't even know you. I'm trying to, we trying to see how we gonna work well together, whatever. Which, I mean, granted, when you go to a new team, you don't know nobody, but you have time to do that. But you are actually paid and on that team. I'm doing random workouts with random people trying to test my ability or prove something to y'all. And if I get injured, y'all finna drop me. Ain't nobody gonna sign me. Now I'm screwed, right?
And then plus, to piggyback off what you said, why would I go throw and perform these drills at the combine when I have my pro day at my own school and a few weeks later with players that I already know that
just come see me now.
Right.
That's just like me going, if I'm applying for a job and they like, oh yeah, we want you to do a case consultation and we want you to do X, Y, and Z, and like they want me to do all this work. For what? I'm not getting paid to do all that.
No.
An interview, you ask questions, I'm gonna give you answers, I'm gonna give you examples based on what I've done, but now you want me to do, act like I'm on the job? At that point, you're using me for free labor. I'm not doing that. So hell no, I wouldn't do that if I was them either. No combine.
Exactly.
Whatever. I'm saying that right, combine?
Right.
What is? Oh, okay. I ain't know that.
Don't do that. So because there actually was a player. He didn't work at the combine, but he did it. He performed at his pro day, right? He was going to be a top pick, a guaranteed first round pick, right? But he was doing his pro day, working drills and all of that. He ends up tearing his Achilles during his pro day workout. It drops him from a first round pick to a late second round pick. Now, the later you get picked, the less guaranteed money that you will make and you will have. With that injury alone, he cost himself probably about $5 to $10 million in his contract. So when we talking about money, that can set generational money that can set you up for your future.
Oh my goodness.
Now he still got drafted. He's still playing in the NFL today in Hasbro, but that's still money that you could have been in your pocket.
That is crazy. Oh, child.
So yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
Child. So yeah.
I just feel like they need to leave that young man alone.
They do.
And let him be great and stop being haters. Stop being haters. Because the thing is, in America, they always want to humble you. White people always want to humble black people. Let's be for real. That's another conversation for another day. But they always trying to humble black people. And it's because in their minds, you don't deserve to be greater than. Or you don't deserve to be greater than because I didn't teach you, or I didn't show you, or I didn't give you the permission to be as cocky or as confident as you coming into my office. Who told you can do that before you met me? Type of ordeal. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't necessarily trying to make this all about race, but that plays a part. We can't act like it don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's no other reason outside of y'all hating on that man Diddy. Y'all because that man Diddy set him up for life, made sure that he was good. And I'm not saying he the best of the best, because I don't know. And I'm pretty sure he's not the best of the best. But he a quarterback, right?
Yep.
Is he better than Caleb?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to child.
He not better than Caleb.
Y'all don't know. He know how I feel about Caleb. Shit.
That's my quarterback. Now. But no.
I mean, yeah, he's my quarterback too. He played for the Bears, and I'm a Bears fan. But damn. 1 + 1 ain't equaling 2. But I ain't, you know what I'm saying? Is he better than Patrick Mahomes?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I was just asking. I'm just asking. But he's still better than them 2 that was drafted before him.
Exactly.
Do he got the potential to be on the level of Patrick Mahomes and Caleb and what's my man name? Jalen Hurts.
Oh, yes.
Dak Prescott.
Yes.
What's my other man name? Look, I got a lot of men, y'all. Damn, what's that team? He played for Spencer team. The team Spencer likes.
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, because he's a quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. He's really good. I like him too. But he not better than them. But he has the potential to get up there if he keeps with the work and all the other stuff. Okay, cool. I gave all the little quarterbacks a little shout out. Can I get my check, please? And thank you. I'm just saying.
He has the potential to be up there.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, they're trying to play my man's space, but I hope for the best.
Hope for the best. And one thing a person always told me, the greatest revenge is success.
That part, in your paper, as Beyonce say.
Oh, yeah. Can't go wrong with that. Right on that.
No, that's good, though. That's good, but... I don't know, anything else about this topic or football or any other analogies or examples that you feel like may be helpful?
No, I think we pretty much touched everything.
Yeah, okay, cool. Well, thank y'all for tuning in on my crash course lesson about what is going on with the young Shedeur Sanders. We hope and pray that everything works itself out. By the time this airs, because it'll be like a couple of days when it airs. So hopefully we're able to put at the end when he got picked and what team. So good luck to y'all and thank y'all for tuning in. If y'all like when we talk about football, we learn it. Y'all better tell me because our content, it's growing. So, definitely like, comment, and subscribe and our YouTube comments and share it with people, rate us, all that other good stuff. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of See More Shenanigans. See More Shenanigans. Hey, we're going to shenanigans. We're going to shenanigans. Peace.